You told me a story. You growing up, having your coach in your house, you're on your recruiting visit with your mom and your brother there.
Yeah.
Tell everybody that story, and then I'll bring it back around to this wine.
So I'm assuming that you're talking about Coach Knight when I was being recruited to go to Indiana University. And as you know, we were poorer than poor. When Coach Knight came to visit, we had no electricity, and so when he came over, all my brothers was there, you know, my mom was there, and we had been offered a lot of things to go to different colleges, you know, money and, you know, cars and homes, and again, we had nothing.
Ooh, blue chips?
Yeah, I mean, Chen, I actually turned down blue chips.
It came back to you.
So we got offered all kinds of things, right? And this one college coach came to our house, opened up a briefcase, and said, hey, there's $50,000 in here. If your son comes to this college, you get $50,000. Now, Channing, we had never seen $50,000 before in our life. As far as we know, it could have only been $1,000 in that briefcase. And so now Coach Knight comes, and I remember him sitting there saying, you know, Mrs. Thomas, you know, I'm only going to offer your son 3 things. A, he's going to get a good education. B, I'm going to teach him everything I know about the game of basketball. And C, he'll be a gentleman. You know, I remember my brothers looking at me and me looking at them. Like, well, okay, well, we're not going to Indiana. I mean, this ain't gonna work, you know? And so, Channing, so now the lights are going down, so it's getting darker in the house. And as it's getting a little darker, you know, we have roaches, right? So there's a roach that's crawling right behind Coach Knight. And I'm like, oh, please go back. Please go back in. You know? And the roach is crawling down the wall. And I'm saying to myself, oh, man, I hope don't nobody see that roach coming down the wall. So now, you know, the conversation gets, you know, they get to talking about where are you going to play and, you know, how's it going to be at Indiana. My mom asked Coach Knight, you know, a pretty serious question. She said, you know, the Klan is in Martinsville, Indiana. If my son gets into, you know, any type of issues, who's going to protect him? You know, he said, well, you know, if we're winning, Mrs. Thomas, the Klan will protect him.
Oh, my God. He said that to your mother?
Yeah, but, you know, in a joking kind of way, right? My brother's like you, like he didn't think that was a joke. So he was like, yo, what the F you mean, so forth and so on. Coach Knight was like, well, you know, it's just a joke and nothing. And so now I look over at my brother and he's lit. Now he ready to fight. And Coach Knight said something back to him. And then he said, well, you know, if you want to do something now, we can take this outside. And I'll never forget, Coach Knight got up, took his jacket off, rolled up his sleeves, and said, yeah, we can go outside. And so now the whole house is in an uproar, right? My mother is sitting there, and, you know, I'm looking at her for her reaction, right? And
for guidance, like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, and she's sitting there like this. And I'm like, oh, no. She like him, right? And so it didn't get into nothing. You know, they broke it up and everything. And my mom had a press conference. I was sitting next to her. And she said, my son has made his decision. He's decided that he's going to Indiana University to play for Coach Bob Knight. And I was sitting there like this.